Hello. Good afternoon, friends. I hope everybody had a sumptuous lunch, though for our selfish interest, I hope that you have not had sumptuous lunch. But one of the things I can assure you is that the August panel that we have here on the dais today will try and see that you don't get into post-lunch fatigue zone called or siesta zone. And one of the things that was, for those of us who were there in the morning, one of the biggest, and I was discussing with my panelists here, one of the biggest subjects that is spoken about is this sustainability. So you talk the talk and walk the walk, or essentially you walk the talk. That is going to be the main agenda for our group. And one of the conversations that I have had with my panelists in the last 4 or 5 days when we were preparing for today's session is that we will be as specific as we can get. General Gyan on sustainability, all of you have more than all of us put together. So no general Gyan. That is my first wish and first responsibility as a panel. We will try and speak as specific as we can get. And if we are not specific, you can ask us and ask us to be more specific. And that is one of the main agenda that we have kept for ourselves as a group. And we will stick to it. The second part, which is equally important in all our lives, when we say balancing efficiency and sustainability, who will pay for sustainability? Somebody has to pay, right? Either a consumer will pay, either an investor will pay, or I don't know, some of us want Government of India to pay. Government of India is not paying. Here on behalf of CII, I can tell you I am not here to ask Government of India to do any subsidy. So who will pay for this very important agenda of sustainability? And that is where balancing efficiency and sustainability is the question that all of us have to answer. So with me, the august body of panelists, they are all working on this very important initiative of these very large organizations. And we hope in the next 1.5 hours, we will be able to create sufficient conversation and sufficient points which we can take back for execution. But before that, CII team, anybody is there? Can we, are we ready for the presentation? So just to give you a slightly more detailed understanding, automotive companies have dealt with global disruptions, and all of these we spoke in the morning, so I'm not going to spend much time. What I'm going to spend a few minutes on is that we are going to be starting and launching today an India Electric Truck Coalition. This is something that as a CII initiative is going to be one very big initiative where all the ecosystem stakeholders, including OEMs, including third-party logistics service providers, and the various set of people who are associated with this category will be working very closely in making a target for all of us in terms of electric truck adoption. And I'm going to take few slides and run you through the few slides on the kind of work that we have done, and most of that is work in progress, but in the next 2 months, you will see very specific action points for all of us. A lot of companies are investing in creating these new platforms. All the logistics service providers, we are also very engaged on this subject. Our customers are also very enthusiastic about this. And we believe that all of us have a duty to bring this electric truck adoption to a number that we all have committed to. So before I introduce the panel and start the panel conversation, we are committed towards net zero. For those of you who are not familiar with this, these are the 3 or 4 key milestones that as a country we have committed. National Hydrogen Mission, which was launched in 2021, aims to make India a green hydrogen hub. A lot of investments are coming into this. It is a reality. In the Gati Shakti program also, there are a lot of nodes where green hydrogen will be stored. It is already planned. I don't think, at least I am privy to whatever planning I have seen. This kind of planning was never done before. The level of detailing and planning which has happened already is going to be visible to everyone very soon. At least a 3-fold increase in nuclear capacity by 2032, achieving an ethanol blending target of 20% by 2025. Some of you may have seen Toyota Innova fully driven by ethanol. It was opened to public or at least displayed, I think, last week. We believe that ethanol is going to be one of the major focus areas. In G20 also, Brazil, which is the largest supplier and already uses ethanol. We have US, which is another big supplier. We have India, where we are ramping up capacity. We believe ethanol is going to play a very big role. So a lot of these initiatives are already underway. Maximizing the use of electric vehicles, increase public transport, increased climate finance to be provided by developed nations. This was another major theme in the recent G20 summit, and a lot of commitments have been exchanged. Long-term strategy aims at keeping global temperatures well below 2 degrees Celsius and ambitiously 1.5 degrees Celsius by century end. Our environment minister also made a lot of commitments in the conference in Egypt. And one of the key elements, as I said, being electric vehicles, we are at CII, part of this initiative. We will commit to a certain electric truck adoption also in the next 3 years. So 5 common initiatives: supplier collaboration to identify eco-friendly materials, implement lean manufacturing principles to reduce waste and improve efficiency, use sustainable energy sources in production and facilities, adopt a circular economy approach where products and materials are reused or recycled, and design vehicles with sustainability in mind from the outset. So these are optimized route planning to reduce fuel consumption and emissions. Some of that you will hear today. Choose transportation modes with lower emissions, such as electric or hybrid vehicles. I know for sure that in personal vehicles, a lot of new vehicles which are right now in the production and consumers are waiting for it, but you will see hybrid penetration also multiply. Similarly, we are looking in logistics also at hybrid as one of the options, if not fully electric. So a lot of new things you will hear in this also. Improve energy efficiency through retrofitting and modernization. This is again India-specific solution that we are working on, where a lot of current truck capacity will use retrofitted methods of becoming more green than what they are currently. Modal split, as again all of you are aware, one of the expectations is that in road, one of the major pollutants is heavy-duty trucks, and that's where the maximum work will be done. Alternate fuels may also mean CNG, PNG, LNG. It will also mean electric. Wherever we can, we will move to the other more sustainable, greener trucks. The number of percentage of ton kilometers, we are taking specific target. India is expected by 2050 to become 2.5 times to 3 times in terms of total ton kilometers that will keep on increasing. So how do we address this problem? Key actions include rapid adoption of EV in passenger and last mile distribution. A lot of it is already visible. Multiple studies being conducted to find action points for mid and first mile. R&D investments in auto sector focused on trucks and heavy duty trucks, and policymakers support to encourage transitions towards zero emission trucks. This all, believe me, is getting very serious thought and attention from all sectors. The CII's Indian Electric Truck Coalition will focus on bringing all stakeholders in electric truck ecosystem to one platform. I request all of you to participate through your organizations in this initiative in whatever way you believe you can add value in. Preparations are made from the last 5-6 months. There is a lot of work which is going on in terms of research, what is to be done, where, how. Roadmap with clear action plans is in advanced draft stage. In the next 30, 60 days, you will see actual numbers and where all of us will start focusing. And deeper engagements will being organized with supply and demand side players, policymakers, and international collaborations are also underway. So more and more, this is the need of the hour, and this is where CII will also play a role. And I'm requesting through this forum today to come forward and participate in this global and nationally important cause. Thank you. Without wasting much time, I'll start introducing panel in no particular sequence. Mr. Sanjay Khare, Vice President of Sustainability at Skoda. He has over 3 decades of experience, is widely recognized as a sustainability guide and mentor, known for fostering innovation and effectively presenting the business case for sustainability. Mr. Sachin Thorat is aftermarket supply chain head, global customer care at Jaguar. He has 20 years of experience in vendor development and sourcing of engine, powertrain, and electric vehicle parts. Mr. Rajiv Ganore is business head at Pyong Hwa Automotive. He has again more than 3 decades of experience in automotive industry and has worked with several leading companies. Mr. Ashwini Jaiswal is Vice President of Strategic Sourcing at Okinawa Autotech. And again, he has 3 decades of experience in automotive industry. Mr. Yogesh Ramtekkar is Head of Supply Chain Management at PV Clean Mobility Technologies and has again experience in multiple companies and categories. Mr. Ajay Kumar is National Manager Sales at V Express. He has 17 years of experience in different level management involving logistics, sales, and key account management. Mr. R.K. Narayan is President Strategy and Business Development at Horizon Industrial Parks, and they run a very large footprint of logistics parks. He has again more than 27 years of experience. He was previously CEO at All Cargo Logistics and Industrial Parks. So I have 30 into 7, at least some 200 years of experience in this. So I'm sure whatever they have to say, it will be weighty. And it will be filtered through what works and what doesn't work. And that is what I think you should expect. Without spending much time, I would request each one of the panelists, I will start from my right, to spend first 4 or 5 minutes giving their opening remarks. I will have a conversation with the audience amongst ourselves, etc., as soon as we finish the 1 round of opening remarks. Mr. Ashwini Jaiswal, please.
Good afternoon to all. After post-lunch, it's difficult to keep you awake. I have made some small presentation. I've got 30 years of experience, started with Ashok Leyland truck, and then I was the first member of Honda HMSI. I made Activa. 2 years I worked in Honda in Japan, made Unicorn Shine. Then Mahindra & Mahindra, I was the head of two-wheelers. Now I am head of Okinawa. So the transition is, I'll just show you with the slide. So I'll be going very fast. See, basically, everything starts from the customer and ends with the customer. So the supply chain always is that getting the right parts at right cost, right quality at right time. So what change has taken place 30 years before and now? Basic agenda is same. Only thing is, now time is a constraint. Time. Every customer wants immediate. So you have to change very fast. I tell you the example. Okinawa started with lead acid. Lead acid has, you know that the cycle is only 300 hours. Now we converted into lithium ion. Now you know the lithium is highly reactive with the water. So every day there is a change taking place. So the supply chain has become like you have to think yesterday, like what first session was saying. Flow chart is same. We get the parts from the supplier. Either it goes directly to the Okinawa or it comes from the warehouse. We have already made 3 lakhs EVs scooters. What is the role of packaging and forwarding? If you see in the value chain, the raw material, process cost, overheads, ICC, inventory carrying cost, and packaging and forwarding. This is the basic rule for taking out the cost, which we are still doing last 30 years. But basically the cost is that packaging and forwarding, that is going to hamper, is pinching us because it has to come down. So we are working on that to how to bring it down. Now, definitely the EV has come, so definitely the cost is to come down. Second thing is the inventory carrying cost. So that is really, if you don't take care of that, your profit will come down. So if you see that how the inventory is there. So basically one side is the supply of parts of the supply of scooters and supply of information. I try to make a pictorial diagram that if the customer requires any type of scooters, like we have two plans, slow speed and high speed. If a customer wants a high speed, that immediately the trigger has to come to the supplier so that the part should come. But there is a problem that the supply of parts and the supply of information, that should be balanced. How? For example, the information which is required by the customer requires, suppose, high speed. If it has to be delivered fast to the factory, and it has to be delivered fast to the supplier, so that the parts which is coming from the supplier should come on right time. Second is the parts. Movement of the parts from the supplier to the factory and factory to the customer. It should be also equally balanced. Now the question is that if the velocity of information and velocity of the parts coming is imbalanced. For example, if velocity 1 is more than velocity 2, your stock is going to pile up. And if velocity 1 is less than velocity 2, you're not able to give the line. So daily we are finding a lot of fluctuation taking place. So to balance this, we are doing a system called production sales meeting, where we generate the requirement for the customer, and daily basis, the system schedule is being changed. This is the way we check the item based on jet and non-jet, and the item is being checked, what is the stock available and how much is required. This is the way we are controlling ABC classification, and the item is coming. And this is the way we are monitoring the plan versus actual. Now I'll take you the example that what are the problems comes in two-wheelers. Basically, these slides are from HMSI, where the parts, 92% parts are single source, and only 8% parts are coming from double source, single source and double source. You must be knowing that suppliers, if parts are coming from single source, there is always a risk. So we used to study a capacity of the supplier, whether they can make in 2 shift and N-3 basis. Then there is a constraint that the item is coming from all over India. So parts distributed all over India. So that means there is always a risk that supply which is coming, it should come on right time. Then there is a problem that 2,000 parts are coming daily, per day, in the store. So gradually the space is same, and store space is same. You have to see that the item which is coming daily on A shift and B shift basis. That means you have to monitor in A shift, if one item, for example, a frame is coming, it has to come 6 times, the truck has to come 6 times. So you have to see that the item which is coming on right time, that means the information has to go to the supplier on right time. This is the way we are monitoring the capacity. If you see in 1 year, almost 4 times the capacity increase. That means 4 times you have to increase the capacity of the supplier. This is way we have to handle the logistic, because there is space constraint in the factory, so dockyard is very limited. There is a constraint of the road. If there is a rain there, if there is a rain, the truck is stuck at some place. So how the fast communication can be taken place at transporter end to the supplier? So we use the walkie-talkie system. We use the supplier person coming in station there, who's giving a daily, second, hourly basis feedback. We changed the truck system. Earlier we used to have a single trolley system. We completely changed to double trolley system so that the number of vehicles coming to the factory has been reduced. Then there was a problem of the strike. Many places the supplier has a strike. We had single source. How to avoid this strike? So we had made a system at the risk management at the supplier end to see that whether they have kept the inventory or not. This is a case example of the tire when there was a strike of the MRF. So we could avoid the line stoppage by shifting the supplier factory from one place to another. If you see the summary, these are the summary. What are the basic problem challenges? One is that if the wrong information or lack of information is coming, so the reason is that if improper planning is done, there is a fluctuation in production, fluctuation in communication, or lack of window person. So as a result, what we have taken countermeasure is that hourly basis, daily basis, we are checking the production plan versus actual and sending the feedback based on 3G principle, Gemba, Gemitsu, Genjutsu. Then we are building the stock, checking the capacity. Capacity should be N-3 basis, 10% extra if we want per day around 6,000 numbers. So your capacity should be 20% extra, 10% extra plus N-3 basis. Means 3 months before we have to work it out. Then we made the system of auditing the transporters and we checked the bins, bins condition. We increased the audit system and based on that we used to call the suppliers and giving the rating that how is that your QCD system is going on. This is the plan versus actual we check and wherever there is a constraint against the plan, we take the action. Thanks.
Thank you, Ashwini. May I request Mr. Sanjay Khare to talk about what specific initiatives he is taking on sustainability?
Thank you, Mr. Pabaru. So I'll straight away come to the point. What is sustainability? Everybody knows, and I think for the last 1.5 years or so, when I've started attending these conferences a little more intensity, I'm finding this is one subject, sustainability and artificial intelligence, which are getting a major center stage in each and every type of conference, whether it was G20, B20, or any other conference in the country. So I think we all very well know what is the meaning of sustainability and why it's being done. But still, just to set a very, very small context, there are 3 challenges which were very, very highly recognized during 2015 by the Paris Climate Agreement. Number 1 topic was about climate change in the terms of the intensity of emissions which has happened, and we have got a very small budget of some, say, till 2030 left to control the emissions before the temperature goes beyond 1.5 degrees centigrade. The very basic education, very basic equation. Second part was about the loss of biodiversity or nature, because each and every of our business is dependent upon the resources. Our survival is dependent upon the resources. Second equation was about the resources getting bleak. And third was about inequalities which is coming into the world, whether it's about the global north and global south or within the society. So around these 3 things, the sustainability equations of ESG and started. In 2016, once I started my work at Volkswagen, we had gone through a crisis at one time, which was around this type on environment issues only. And no one knows it better than us. What does that crisis mean? How our business was really shutting down. But we really took a big call at that point of time that we'll go to absolute go to zero. So we took to zero emission statement environment, which was all about products and processes both put together. How do we make our products totally zero emission products, and how we make our processes zero emission processes? If we see overall inventory of emissions globally, 16% of emissions come from the transportation sector, 30% from the manufacturing, 30% from energy generation, and other sectors, say agriculture or say housing, take the balance of the areas. So 16% emissions from the transportation, and our group was responsible for 1% straight away. We again analyzed our entire value chain. Where do the emissions come from? So almost 60% or 70% emissions from the actual product usage, tailpipe emissions, or the fuel supply emissions. 5% for in the recycling of the vehicles at the end of the life. 2% was from the in-house manufacturing, and 13% was from the supply chain, that is logistics as well as supplier companies. So both the areas, product as well as in the processes, I think it was a lot talked in the panel before the lunch. So much of disruptions have happened. How fast after the Paris Climate Agreement, the world has moved very fast. How we see the electrification is really becoming a buzzword and it's really happening. I'm seeing a transformation happening at least in two-wheeler and three-wheeler industry in the country itself. And globally, Europe and all is moving very, very fast towards even four-wheeler electrifications. How the focus has come on the green energy. This is a big focus on these topics. So this was one area. Then, talking about the implementations within our company, how we started was, let's first talk about the low-hanging fruits. Our manufacturing emissions, which are directly in our area of influence, number one thing, easy thing to handle was about, say, energy part, about the energy which is coming from our, from the Maharashtra state, MESTDCL. And now it was grey energy. And we found that our rooftops are all lying vacant. And this was a big area to work upon. And we needed money to put solar plants, and we found a very interesting solution. Somebody came and invested money and gave the energy to us on an OPEX model. So energy which we were buying at 8 rupees a unit earlier was coming to us at 3 rupees 60 paisa. Now we have put up a whopping 80.5 megawatts of solar power on our rooftops, and all this energy is 60% cheaper. We save a few tens of crore rupees every year only on this energy cost. So that's what I say, that energy and economics are two sides of the same coin. Environment and economics are two sides of the same coin. If you're working on this topic, you're going to save upon a lot of operational efficiencies. Number two is that our organization, we have made it a zero waste organization. Almost 99.97% of our waste is recycled and repurposed, including paint shop sludges. We are sending it to somebody who can convert it into a primer for the structures. Each and every waste, and all this is nothing, only top-driven. It was top-down and bottoms up. Lot of awareness, lot of education. Lots and lots of ideas have come from the people in the shop floors themselves, how they can repurpose the waste and water, everything. So this was second big low-hanging fruit, I'll say, that we became a zero-waste organization, certified by TUV Nord. Number three, we became a zero liquid discharge industry. We don't send out even a single drop of dirty water outside. We reprocess everything and use it inside, repurpose it. And then we have started using our water for water conservation outside in CSR, and we've become a certified water positive organization also. Also, we've got a very thriving biodiversity inside our plants. If some of you have visited, it's more of a resort type of plant where we got more than 330 species of birds, butterflies, and animals inside the plant. And all this has increased by 30% over the last 5 years. Time we had invested 1 billion euro in making the new plant and new processes. So that means economics as well as environment can go together hand in hand. After we have done our services inside our plant, inside our areas, our next area of influence went to our suppliers. Last year we participated along with CII, and we have certified as the first value chain along with 16 of my suppliers and my dealers, both put together. We had taken 19, 3 could not qualify the first time, but of the 16 who qualified, all of them have scored more than 55-60% marks. And there are 4 areas to work upon: decarbonization, circular economy, health, safety, and human rights. I think these all very well related to 3 points which I had mentioned earlier about climate change, about loss of biodiversity, and about inequalities. And here we did a lot of hand-holding with them, along with them. Over the, I think, first 3 months was a big challenge. We could not find people in these organizations who were focused with working on these topics. And I think last month in Delhi, just before the B20, we got a big commemoration along with at the CII, along with all of our suppliers. We were together on the stage, and we have cleared the stage 1, and we are the first sustainable value chain. This year, I plan to expand it to another 50 suppliers and dealers, and I hope we'll be one of the leading ones in this topic. I'm also working with the thought process on working along with other OEMs to expand it further. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Some of the very interesting things we'll come back to in the question answer session. I'll request Sachin Thorat to give his opening remarks.
Okay, so everyone has touched a little bit on sustainability. I will add some of the points which is not discussed previously. So as a Jaguar Land Rover, we are also participating into the sustainability activities. And as everyone knows, sustainability is nothing but saving to our environment, and we have to reduce the impact to the environment, right? So, and if you see the main actors in the sustainability, so it starts again with the raw material, so raw material supplier, then it comes to the manufacturer as a second, then from manufacturer that goods goes to your dealers, retailers, and to the final customer. So this is the, if you see any product, this is the cycle or this is the supply chain. Your products will be moving from one place to another place, right? So if you compare and if you see, so as a Jaguar Land Rover, as all the automotives, all the companies are putting a lot of efforts towards sustainability and net zero carbon. Similarly, Jaguar Land Rover has also committed to go for net carbon zero by 2039. And all our vehicles will be net carbon zero by that time. And initially, so we have two targets. One is a interim target and as well as the stretch target. So interim is like we wanted to have all our vehicles with the electric vehicle option so that we can reduce the impact to the environment. This I talked about the vehicles. If you see at the supplier base, so since my basic background from the aftermarket supply chain as well as I'm the part of the global customer care. So what we do is we are protecting our suppliers as well. So we are approaching to the suppliers, those who are adopting the sustainability practices. So that actually helps because if your supplier is following that techniques and that they are actually contributing to sustainability. Ultimately, if you see as overall supply chain, we can see that impact on our supply chain will be reduced and ultimately it will benefit to my customer. Similarly, in our operations, we have a lot of initiatives like few of our plants are now 100% converted with the solar panels, and for a particular plant, whatever is energy required, we are consuming just from the solars. So, and this we have done almost 6-7 years back. So you can understand the way ahead we are trying to go and we are trying to do this one. If I go to the customers and retailers, since I told you this is a complete chain, we are using a lot of digitalization tools like Tableau, Power BI, and there are other systems are there, which are giving actually benefits to company. And as everyone says that, okay, if we have to invest for sustainability, whether that will pay or not. But I suggest, or what we have achieved or what we have seen is, whatever we put it into the sustainability or for the future of our organization, it is paying us back much, much more, I will say. One of the example I will just share in customer service, like we do repair and give the service to our customers, right? So earlier, like, in now our vehicles are also becoming like computer nowadays because a lot of software systems are coming. Earlier, it was a lot of manual things, manual parts are there. But if you see today, all the things are coming automatic. And since I'm into the premium segment and we know Jaguar Land Rover, it is not a vehicle, it is a brand. And there are a lot of other things are there which are like more software related things are there. And one of the challenge was like, if any fault is there or anything is there, we need to like call each and every customer and then we can repair their past vehicles and this, right? So what initiative we have done within our organization is the software over the air. And this is now very well known now. What we can do is at one button click, we can just update the software from sitting from any part of the world, and all the customers, those who are using that vehicle, they can get update like what we get update on a mobile. You can understand the impact of that small change. Now, all the customers, those who are using that vehicle, they need not to come to the retailer, no need to repair, and you can understand the cost saved or the transportation cost, the emission cost saved throughout this process. It is multiple folds. So this is one example I just tell. So there are a lot of other initiatives companies working on. And also we are working on for the future vehicles like different energy as hydrogen as well as electric vehicle and other segments are there. So there is a lot of definitely focus is there. Okay, and if you see the recycle of the complete vehicle parts, so like its vehicle is from bolt to the body, right? And if you see the elements of the complete vehicle, there is around 65% is the metal, ferrous metal. Then around 10% maybe you can say the plastic and other things are there. Then rubbers are there, and there are some consumable items like fluid and these things are there. So ultimately, if each person thinks that, okay, whatever I'm using in that vehicle, if I reuse or recycle it, again it will go back to the our industry. We should not waste. Ultimately, sustainability is nothing to like reduce the waste. So how we can recycle, reuse all these things. So that will definitely help us. So as I mentioned, so actors in this sustainability chain is right from supplier, manufacturer, retailers, and ultimately final customer. So everyone needs to contribute that, and together, I'm sure we can achieve whatever the individual company goal targets or individual country targets are there. We can definitely give back to our society. That's what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you. May I request Mr. Rajiv Ganode to talk about what his specific company's initiatives are in this subject?
Yeah, thank you, sir. PHA is a Korean company supplying solutions as a tier 1 to Hyundai and Kia. And rightly in the morning we said that Hyundai, we saw a board on the Hyundai has a good target. And in the morning session we understood that Hyundai has taken up the ESG targets to reach carbon neutral by 2045 or 2050. So as a supplier to Hyundai, PHA has also equal responsibility to be supporting the Hyundai as a customer. And what we believe that achieving a sustainability will not be the individual responsibility. It is a Herculean task which an individual or a company or a country cannot be done. It requires quite a lot of collaboration across countries, across suppliers, across customers. And the only way we think that the customer and consumer needs to support. So with this philosophy that customer and consumer needs to support, there is a particular word what we used in the morning, also in the afternoon, walk the talk. So specifically the Koreans or the Japanese, they're quite known with the philosophy of walk the talk. So when Hyundai has decided that they will go with the carbon neutral by 2045, and being in India and being a global MNC, they have both the pressures from Korea as well as India. And as a result, we are also a part of a supply chain. We are also supplying to Hyundai. And we have been put under pressure or put under the target of achieving the ESG targets within a stipulated time. So what exactly we are doing it? So we have three logistics: the outbound logistics, the in-house, and the inbound logistics. So in the outbound logistics, we have been asked our plant to be very close to the user place, that is next to the company, so that the carbon footprints generated, they are very, very minimal. You must have heard in the news that Hyundai is taking over the GM plant in Pune. So with that, we have got a mandate that we should also come very close to the General Motor new plant, that is Talegaon. Right before Hyundai started taking over the plant, we had been given the mandate, okay, we have a future plan to come to Pune and we should start working on putting a plant in near Talegaon. So my job started 6 months back. So you can see that the focus, the onus on the companies they have to be carbon neutral or lies on the logistics, so very close to the customer place. Then the second thought process was that how the cost can be balanced. The sustainability calls for a huge cost. We don't have we don't gauge by value and the cost, or the time and the cost, but we are going to get valued by the sustainability. If you're green, we are going to get the business. This is what we heard in the morning session. The suppliers who are going to be green will be preferred supplier. Hyundai has adopted that policy. So as a supplier to Hyundai, we also feel that it is necessary for us to be green in all aspects. So how to be green? So for last 2 years, internally, we don't have any diesel vehicles operating in our premises. The material handling system is entirely, purely a battery operated. Now, when you're going to put a plant in the Pune, from the day one, we are going to be as closest to the ESG compliant. We are going to have a solar panels installed in a factory, very close location to the plant. The transporters who are going to operate with us, they are also going to be supporting us on the carbon neutrality. For example, we are going to support them on the certain few EV vehicles where they can have their own EV vehicles. And we had one session last month on the ESG within our premises. And one of the ideas which came up from the transporter was that if they support us, if we support them, they can put a solar panel on the roof of the transport system, the trucks which are going to carry. So there is one idea which really put us in a good position of having a better cost benefits on the total cost concept. So we are going to support that one transporter with the who has come with the idea that is going to put a solar panel. It's a nascent idea. It's a very good idea, but not yet implemented. But yes, we are going to participate in that idea proposals. So, in conclusion, we feel that all the outbound as well as the in-house and as well as the inbound at all three areas, if you try to work on that, I think we can achieve the sustainability in the logistic supply chain. Those are my views. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Yogesh Ramtekkar, please talk about your own organization's initiatives.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And at PV Clean Mobility, we taken initiatives, 4 to 5 initiatives we taken for a sustainable supply chain and the economical and efficient. So, first of all, I will talk to about at Delhi NCR region, we have the supplier base is around 25 to 30 supplier base. So earlier, the supply chain which we are planned for each and every supplier, there is a different pickup and the delivery for each shipment. So we realize that because of this supply chain planning, we end up with a freight increase as well as the pressure at my plant also. Because if you see, the delivery at my plant is around, earlier the delivery in monthly basis, you can say 200 to 220. No, okay. So there is some constraint at our end also for unloading. So now what we did it, we planned such a way especially for Delhi NCR supplier, because the supplier base is because we are procuring almost 40% from that from those supplier. So we started milk run concept for Delhi NCR region, whereas earlier the pickup, if you see, the pickup is around 200 to 220. Now it has reduced to 140. So if you see, almost we reduced 25 for 30% pickup frequency from the supplier. Same at the time of delivery. So daily, if you see, the delivery frequency at my plant is around 7 to 8 vehicle is coming for different supplier. And now that reduced to 2 to 3 deliveries. So almost 75% the delivery and has reduced. It will impact to our cost as well. Almost 2.2 billion per yearly we are saving for the delivery and pickup cost. And definitely the load at PV Clean Mobility, also the workload has reduced. Even we reduced the inventory, which earlier we are keeping 7 to 8 days inventory because of transit time from NCR region is almost 4 to 5 days. Now we have reduced for around 3 to 4 days, because our supplier, our transporter, because we given a big business to them, he's happy to keep inventory at their warehouse. So the space constraint and the inventory at my end also has reduced. So of course, this is one of the initiative we have taken for a sustainable supply chain. Second initiatives we have taken, maybe you might aware, DHL Express has started Go Green Connect, whereas they are working to reduce the carbon footprint worldwide. So they have come to us with proposal that we have taken this initiative, and they help us. They request to us to please you can also join us. So as a management call, we have started. We had agreement with them, and we are paying 8 rupees per kg for each shipment to DHL extra for this Go Green Connect. So that is the second, I think, so we have taken. Third one, yes, we had an agreement with our transporter for local delivery. So right now we have 3 vehicles for the local deliveries. So transport has agreed to for the EVs vehicle, whereas the charging cost and the infrastructure we will provide to them, and the investment of the vehicle is with transporter. So definitely that will help both of us to reduce the number of footprint at for overall footprint, carbon footprint in current supply chain. Fourth one, for that same vehicle route optimization, what we did it, hello? So what we did earlier, the delivery vehicle, this vehicle is used for the delivery only. So there is one way, you can say the vehicle of use is only one way. So now, because of digitalization, we have one third supplier who is helping us to route optimization online. So what we are doing here for outbound, the vehicle which is used for the outbound, when he will return, he will definitely come with some other supplier's material. So we are using, we started utilization of the second vehicle is optimistic. So this is a 4 or 5 initiative we have taken, and definitely, and for me, trust me, if in this competitive market, if you want to be sustained and you want to be economical in supply chain, you definitely have to invest now, because the sustainable supply chain only work in future, definitely. So thank you from my side.
Thank you. May I request Mr. Narayan to talk about the modern infrastructure that their organization is working on and how is it being planned sustainable?
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, it's a big privilege to be at this conference, sitting amongst this panelist and the other delegates. Most or probably all of you are our customers, right? You are in the field of supply chain. You are in the automotive industry. We are infrastructure provider. So basically, we provide the real estate infrastructure, which is whether it's a warehouse or whether it's a industrial park or a logistic park. We provide that to you for your storage needs or for your manufacturing infrastructure. So in the entire supply chain, and particularly with the focus on the green and the sustainability that we are talking about, essentially what we are talking about is a green supply chain, right? A green supply chain management. And what is there in the green supply chain management? It starts, the life cycle or the entire cycle is starts from raw material, it is design, it's production, it is storage, it's distribution, and then ultimately it goes to the customer. One component of this entire cycle is warehousing, or it's a manufacturing production location. So we want to take, you're handling much more complicated activity and much more wider. Your scope is much more wider. The one worry that we want to take out of you, insofar as your goal towards carbon neutrality or carbon reduction or energy using renewable energy, all these aspects are concerned, that we would like to take care. And that's our proposal also to you, that as far as the infra part is concerned, you need not worry, because you got focused institutional, globally investor-backed entities which are there to handle. So that's one. Now, from how we look at, from the pathways, so we have a pathway, right? One is this pathway of decarbonization, and second is the pathway of energy, fossil fuel-based energy reduction. So globally, the logistic premises or the logistic buildings, they benchmark on the basis of what's the ton per square meter per year that you are generating. Roughly, I think if you look at the data, it's about 32 kg of carbon on a per square meter per annum basis. And when it comes to energy, it's benchmarked at 85 kilowatt hour on a per square meter per annum basis. Now, of course, different countries, different location, different user type, it will all vary. And this is supposed to go down, the 32 ton is supposed to go down to 2 tons over the next 10 years. And similarly, 85 kilowatt hour of fossil fuel-based energy is supposed to go down to 2 kilowatt hour on a per square meter per annum basis. So that's what we promise. So how do we do that? We at our premises, also, the performance matrix is seen from, basically on both the counts. One is the operational carbon
and as well as it's the embodied carbon. Now, operational carbon, you are on the path of making it zero, net carbon zero, basically by adopting more and more of renewable. Today, there are constraints. Yes, we are giving solar, we don't have to do any off-site solar. We can do on-site solar because we have got enough of roof. And to the extent that the law permits, the law has a limitation that we can't create capacities more than what your contract load is. You could be a heavy-duty user, you could be light user, but we could be giving you anywhere between 30% of your total energy could be renewable energy, going all the way up to 80%, 90%, depending on to what limit the net metering is allowed, right? So that's your, many of our clients actually ask us that they themselves have made a commitment to RE100, and as part of that, what can we do? So that's one side of it. What we also do is so we talked about energy. Besides providing renewable energy, it's also using energy efficient equipments, which are all B-star rated, 3-star plus rated, or we use LED lights we provide in the buildings, as much of natural light as one can, and also design energy efficient building. If some clients have a cold requirement or ambient temperature requirement, then the HVAC system that we provide all are supposed to be very energy efficient. On the water, yes, using energy efficient flow meters and low flow meters, and also treating water and use as much as of water use less through fresh water and more through recycled water. Fresh, yes, of course, for domestic you would need, but otherwise for your flushing and for all the landscaping and gardening purposes, it's all wastewater treatment. Even the storm water, or the rainwater that we have, we try and use it, we try and not discharge it outside, but basically have that percolated down by putting in as much of rainwater harvesting pits, and also by putting in storage tanks, etc., etc. That's also the ultimate goal. On the waste front as well, which is the third parameter, at least try and the tenants' organic waste, we try and treat that on the site itself through EWCs and other measures. Of course, your packaging waste, etc., all this they go outside, but we try to solve that and minimize, and the target is go towards zero waste to landfill, right? So this is the another set of measures that we take. Besides maintaining the entire biodiversity, putting in as much of native plants, shrubs, less of lawns, and more of these kind of trees and shrubs and plants is what we try to do, using efficient irrigation system by drip irrigation when it comes to trees and shrubs, or sprinklers when it comes to lawns. So these are several measures that we take and help you, what is best that we could do, we do that. Another is a huge amount of engagement with the tenants, that we do with the occupiers, because we are all aligned in our goals overall, right? While through solar roof, etc., we try and reduce the operational carbon, but also through health and safety, and try and provide more and more of quality air, etc., at the premise, so that health and safety of the your employees are also kind of taken care. So several measures. I think we can talk more down the line.
Thank you. May I request Ajay to specifically talk about what he is also a service provider, so he can bring in a perspective of that.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, when you are in last, you got, many ideas and objectives and, many things which you can connect with into. So, thank you for the opportunity for this. So, my fellow colleagues had said about the sustainability initiatives, recycling and all. In order to connect everything, I would say, in my opinion, efficiency in supply chain is movement of the goods in economical way without impacting the environment health. And that's supposed to be in a timely manner, which is we call sustainability. As far as our organization is concerned, I would like to share, which all my fellow colleagues have been sharing. Our organizations has taken an initiative long back to, put these solar panel on our all warehouses, our corporate office, our regional offices. And I am delighted to share that 40% of our consumption of electricity comes from these solar panels. And we are not stopping over here. We are trying, in near future, we are trying to increase this consumption by 60 to 70%. Our 4 to 5 warehouses have rain water harvesting system in Ahmedabad, Bombay, Bangalore, Delhi. So all these making sure that the water is being sure. One more thing, what RK Saab is saying that, recycling of product and e-waste is definitely important. We have also initiated this long back, and we have appointed a third-party organization who is taking care of our e-waste and also recycling our stationery. We already left the plastic water bottle, I would say, long back in favor of using the metal containers in our offices. One more thing, what he preferred that about the electricity. Right now, we are using the VRV system in our all air conditioners to make sure efficient use of electricity. Our corporate office is LEED certified, and we are also associated with NGO, Kalptaru, which help us to plant 13,500 trees every year. And I was amazed to learn about it that those trees are food-bearing trees. And in every season, those trees are generating 550 tons of fruit for the farmers who are getting benefit out of it with the economical value of 1.5 CR. So these are the small initiatives our organization has taken. And because of this, we have got many certificates and recognition from many institutes and organizations. But as a logistics service provider, we have got some more, it is actually a continual improvement, and we cannot stop over here because we have got some other efficiency issues which we have to come over. So for improving the efficiency, just sharing you a data that we have around 500 plus trucks running on our national highways every day. So ensuring that for reducing the carbon footprint and low emission, we have designed our entire structure in such a way that every truck will have a less running time, shorter distance or less running duration. We also ensure that they have technological support we normally call a driver app and all, which give them online information about the traffic, congestions, shortest route. By that, they can reach the destination on time without having any hassles about it. We also, what said is about the mode selection. I think that actually the right way right now and which can have a big impact, I would say that. We have started, the entire first mile, last mile automation since long, and 25% of first mile and last mile fleet is on CNG. Now, from last 1.5 years, we are working on EVs. And many locations have started, for first mile and last mile, adopting the EV trucks for the delivery and pickups. And we are also creating the infra, making sure that they will have a low fuel emissions. With this entire thing, one thing which we need to have is the technology, which we can definitely, everybody was talking about since morning, that, we need to have the technology integration into ensuring that we are more efficient. Because for that, we are giving our client to end-to-end visibility. Every client will have end-to-end visibility to ensure there will not be any waste. Every shipment, every box has been tracked. There is no manual work being done. Everything is through system. It is actually a wonderful system which we have placed to help our client to have their visibility, and we have our system and data. And we are in a position to develop a control tower to help the entire network system to improve their efficiency and taking the right decision on time. And they need to be proactive for any incident. With this, one important thing in the morning, which I was amazed to see about the collaboration perspective. I think by adopting the best practices of collaboration, I believe choosing the right service provider, choosing the right service partner for our client and for us also, which is compliant, who is using the fair labor practices. I think that is the need of today, and who can support us to help us out into this green initiative and maintain the sustainability. I think there is a lot to be done, and as far as our organization is concerned, we are already on the way, and I understand there is a lot more to be done. But we as an organization, we have a will to do many more on this, and we'll make sure that we will continuously improve on that. Thank you.
So, before I open it to the audience, I have one question to my panelists, and anybody can take this. In this trade-off between efficiency and sustainability, do you have any example where efficiency has won and you have postponed the sustainability? Finally, it's unglamorous to say this, but somebody, if that doesn't make business sense, Sanjay, you may have some experience of that.
Hello. Yeah, I'm audible. So yes, I have one very, very recent experience. I'm just trying to grapple with that, because I was very, very passionate about putting much more renewable energy. So what we found out that all around us, it's in belt that we are into. A lot of biomass is available. Can we convert that biomass and use it at least as a gas for heating up my paint shops? Pawan, which is sitting over here, he knows a paint shop and the amount of natural gas that is used over there, and a lot of carbon footprint can be evaded. Somehow we could not make it, as of now, investment where somebody can come and invest, or I can get that capital which can give me an ROI of less than 2 or 3 years. That's where I'm grappling with, but I hope we'll be able to solve it out over some time.
I've got an example that earlier we used to do the assembly with the pneumatic guns. Now it has all been converted to electric guns. So in our factory, that complete system has changed with electric.
Yeah, so in the logistic park business, the efficiency, one measure of efficiency would be, how quickly can you construct, right? Of course, within the limitation of what a real estate asset should take time, but within that also. So if we have to go down the path of, reducing our embodied carbon, right? Because real estate is the largest, one of the largest user of carbon, source of carbon. Now, if I have to go for procuring and using eco-label products, green certified products, which means that you ought to have an ecosystem around you, right? Today, one of the major components, which is PEB, they are not necessarily available within a striking distance of you. So it's a transportation itself is in quite a bit of carbon, right? Yes, I can minimize the use of cement by doing very efficient design, by using precast materials, etc. But then that precast set of vendor base will not be around you, right? And in any case, you cannot have it too far. Yes, we try to use recycled material. So I think that whole thing is developing. We have seen in certain locations where it is all present in and around your place, so you could do that faster. But to go on a pan-India basis, I think it's going to take time.
So my idea of doing this conversation is that, friends who are sitting here, please don't believe that sustainability will come very easily. Please do your maths. It's a complex question that each one of us has to answer. The only commitment I think all of us need to make is that we have to move in the right direction as fast as you can. Obviously, in some cases, like Yogesh mentioned, that his organization paid 8 rupees per consignment extra for that. not every organization will also subscribe to that. And it is fully understood. Finally, we are here to look at efficiency as much as we are looking at sustainability. And I'm sure at the country level, but at an organization level, we are all grappling with this issue on a daily basis. The idea of combining together in a forum like this and a conference like this is to figure out that if there is somebody who's already figured out an answer, chances are that it will work out for you also. And if all of us collaborate on this in terms of information sharing, you will find that more and more use cases will become acceptable, and efficiency and sustainability both will get a payback. And that is, I think, the intent. Somebody was raising their hand. Few questions.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deepak. I'm from LeadEc India, and thanks for sharing good thoughts by the panelists. I'm also a part of this sustainability drive, where we are providing returnable packaging across India. So more than 100 trees per day we are trying to save for non-cutting. So that type of solutions. I just have one question to Mr. Ajay. Right now he spoke about multiple trucks, like 500 trucks are moving across India on different routes. There are more complexities on the roads also. Now challenge is that the cost. Customer, we have OEMs, tier 1s, 3PLs, logistic service providers, everywhere in this form right now. 200 plus years of experience, I can say, all the panelists. So all put together. So now important is that OEM is asking, I need a cost reduction. Tier 1 is asking cost reduction, but the transport costs are increasing day by day. So what drive for reducing the cost, like currently diesel trucks are moving on the road, CNG, is there a solution right now? And how this we can bridge the gap basically for this?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just before that, the question being initiated, who will bear the cost? Right. I understand. And when I was thinking before coming over here, then I was thinking the same thing, what you have just asked, that who will bear the cost? Right now, I understand the market is very competitive. Demand is increasing like hell. I think today's, when I started my discussion, I said the efficiency in supply chain is, moving the goods from one place to another place, timely and economical way, which will not impact the health of the environment. Stick to that point. Today's scenario, people are definitely looking for a cost reduction, but we need to understand what kind of a cost reduction they are looking for. Are they looking for only transportation cost reduction, or they looking for a package, which in the beginning and this in the morning we aren't discussing about it. So rather, we are discussing about a single cost. I think they are looking for the solution for their supply chain, which we can share with them, or we can present them. Yes, the things are not easy, as I'm saying. It would be difficult. There are challenges when we meet the client. There are challenges when we go and share the things. Huge investment is there. But I think, we have already been started. There are investment being done by us. Thereby, the government is also aware about it. Yes, it will take time, but we will reach there. So rather selling the single cost, let's understand their needs, requirement, and try to put the entire solution to them. I think that will be the only way we can sell it.
So to add to what Ajay said, there is a cost being borne. If you consider environment cost and include that in the equation, most of the forward-looking organizations have already started reducing that cost. That is also a cost, which all of us are already paying. It is not measured. And therefore, when we are looking at least audience in this room, they believe that that is a significant cost. That is why this question of efficiency versus sustainability. So in my experience in the last few years, is that if you get into a long-term contract, this capital, and that is one of the intentions of G20 if you go through, the access to capital, which is green capital, will also multiply, and the cost of environment when you factor in, you are actually going to reduce that cost also. So most forward-looking organizations, I'm saying somebody in the junior procurement system may continue to still not look at that cost, but I am very hopeful and I'm very encouraged to see that most of the organizations have serious commitments made already. In fact, I have a reverse problem. There are customers who are telling me that I want to green my fleet. Please give me fleet. I don't have. So one of the intentions of CII coalition is to create more options. For example, why is it that all our new highways do not have charging infrastructure every 300 kilometers? Because right now, if the charging radius or whatever anxiety is only for 300, 400 kilometers, can we create a charging infrastructure? And that is one of the agenda. The other agenda is, can we have CNG available? I don't know how many places the CNG is available today. If I go on a national highway, then at least all the new highways should they have LNG, PNG. So all that is necessarily the work which we all have to do together because the solutions are already available. Second thing, incidentally, for most of you, I am sure you are aware, whatever we are doing has been done in the world before. Nothing new is happening. So it is not something that we are trying to recreate from zero. For example, ethanol is being used in Brazil already, and so on. I am sure you will have lots of case studies. So all the global experiences in this subject, all the knowledge that is available to all of us has to be converted into an implementation plan which works for us in India, where all of us are willing to pay whatever transition costs, and I think the future is bright. That is what I would like to say.
I tell you the example, what you asked about the recycle bin. When we started in Honda, every item used to come in carton boxes. Right. That was the first step. Second step was we converted all the carton boxes to returnal bins. What we did is we asked the supplier to start a nearby warehouse, and from there the carton bins, the returnable boxes should return back. Same thing which we had done in Okinawa, like our shockers coming from Pune. So we asked the supplier to make a warehouse near to our place. From there, your question was two things. Absolutely. One is that cost. The carton boxes is national waste. And ultimately, the long run, when we found that we had reduced the cost. Initially, the cost was borne by the supplier based on amortization.
So
but later
just
on...
so that we can continue this conversation outside.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
Yeah, the passions are all there. We will speak endlessly for this, on this. Any more question? Last question? Yeah.
Hello.
Please identify yourself, give your short introduction and then ask the question.
I am Salim from Globicon Terminals, Mumbai. My question is to know where are, as a India, where are we on the EV heavy duty trucks and trailers manufacturing, and what are the cost benefits?
So EV heavy duty trucks at this point of time are at a design stage, and I don't know when we will become fully electric. I don't think at this point of time anybody can tell you, because at this point of time it is not yet a proven use case in India. I can tell you that before we become fully electric, we will become some percentage hybrid, some percentage ethanol, some percentage, and I'm talking heavy duty trucking, and some percentage of alternate fuels. Alternate fuels, to my mind, are going to be one very big category. Most of the discussions in G20 summit, and I was privy to some of them, some of the conversations, that there is a proven technology available. All of that is going to come to India much faster and much earlier than anybody has envisaged. Fully electric is, in fact, not even at this point of time, I have not seen it anywhere in the world also, in a sustained basis. Second thing, we all have to understand that in India, efficiency and sustainability debate, efficiency is going to win for many more years. It is not that sustainability is going to win from tomorrow because we have had this conference today. At the same time, if you start today, maybe in 4 or 5 years down the line, and if I'm around here in this panel, you will see a much bigger number, at least 5 to 10 times the number than what it is today. But this efficiency and sustainability debate is not going away. It is here to stay. The good news is that we are spending so much time on this. Few years back, we used to just mention sustainability. Most of us did not know. They said, "Hum visiting card use nahi karenge, hum ye nahi karenge." From there, we've come a long way. But I think that what I am seeing right now across is significant investment of money by various players into this initiative. Even time. So time and money both are going, and there is a resonance in the world. Some of it, I always say, innovation is also a forced activity. Some of it is going to be forced out of accidents, out of our internal organization pressures, out of export customers, out of I am a tier 1 supplier. I have to do sustainability not because I want to, because my customer otherwise is not going to give me business. And to me, that is an equally valid lever that all of us play with. If my customer, my 60-70% customer is telling me you become sustainable tomorrow, I'll figure out a way how to put that into my cost and do it. And I think, therefore, all of this is fair, because this is war that we are fighting, and all of us will figure out our way and figure out who will put in that investment. But the good news is that the ecosystem is far more supportive to become sustainable. With that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you around. More passionate conversations can happen for coffee. Is there CII team? Break? Thank you very much. I think we are, what? Sustainability also means being on time. Yeah? Thank you very much.